Shouldn't take too long to get loaded here. It is Friday night, pretty late, so there should be some juicy games in general. It immediately takes your seat. You don't even have to push anything. Welcome, blah, blah, blah. Basically saying you don't have disconnect protect, so I'm just going to hit don't show me that again. I guess I just auto-folded the first hand, which is pretty lame. I wonder if that's because I didn't hit OK fast enough. You can see the layout here for the table. It's very iPad-esque or iPhone-esque, with the buttons being big and easy to find, and also basic. You may not have quite as many buttons on the table as you do at the computer. So our opponent here, actually I think I just played this guy a minute ago. He was pretty aggro, and pretty sure he 3-bet us a lot, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to go ahead and let him have that one. I probably would shove here if he min-raised. Again, you want to have a little bit of a sample on a person, but this is a really good 3-bet shoving hand as a bluff, so I definitely wouldn't mind it. I'm going to go ahead and lead. Since it's in limped pots, I like to lead draws a lot. It's harder for your opponents to put you on a made draw when you actually do get there. And you also have some fold equity, obviously, when you lead flops in general. Picking up a gut shot as well makes me happy to 2-barrel there. I don't think I'm going to 3-barrel. He seems pretty stubborn. Doesn't seem like he wants to fold his king high, maybe even queen high. He could have much more than that. He could have a real hand, I suppose, that he's slow playing. It's not a terrible spot for a 3-barrel if you expect him to have like a lot of hearts and you know, maybe to float hands like queen high and jack high a lot, but that's pretty hard to imagine someone floating 2 streets with, so I'm just gonna shut down. I'm gonna go ahead and min-raise jack 7, but since this guy 3-bets a lot, it might be pretty thin. I've been checking middle pair a lot to make the future streets of the hand easier for me. And so in this case, yeah, I chose to check the flop. I think betting's fine. Players who check raise you a lot, though, are going to put you in really tough spots with middle pair. So it's not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to check. You can, if someone you think is check raise bluffing a lot, you can bet call or bet shove and stuff. So there's definitely options, but I do like checking back some flops with middle pair versus some aggro opponents. I don't want to overgeneralize and say I should do it all the time or never do it. Folding queen 3 out of position. Queen 5 is another decent hand to raise, decent hand to limp, and it could be a costly raise fold versus a player like this. That's definitely a concern. Still, though, since I don't really remember his stats, I'm treating him more like an unknown, but I think he was on the aggressive side of an unknown, so I'm definitely playing a little bit more as though I would in a readless situation. It's definitely not a foldable spot, but it's also not an amazing spot to be in. The hearts makes it hard for us to expect us to have much fold equity, and we obviously have the bottom end of the straight, which is not cool. This is obviously our hand is counterfeited here. We might split some of the time, but he also could have a heart, and it also is a reasonable spot to bluff. It's a pretty sick spot actually, but I'm just gonna shut down. We see at 4 high, which is pretty annoying river card to split the pot with. It's not a bad bluff spot. I wouldn't blame anyone for going for it there. Going to shove here mainly because I do expect raise folding to be too costly. And we run into ace 8, which is super awesome. There doesn't seem to be a rematch button on this screen, which is also potentially noteworthy. Where's the, oh, I guess they already registered. I'm a little bit of a noob at this, for this app. How do I sort this by buy-in, please? Thank you, God. And how do you see who's at the table? That would be really, really, really useful. Who cares? If we're playing a reg, that's fine.